Okay, this presentation supports the internal marketing planning, specifically looking at the final stage of the marketing planning internal, that is the actual plan itself. Um, okay, so what we're looking at here are these areas, fourth part of the actual internal. So thinking about what the marketing budget is all about, thinking about the sales and profit forecast, the action plan, and the contingency plan as well. So looking at all these sort of things. Please remember, with this we are looking to produce the actual plan, part of this individually, whereas the research is all done on its can be done as a group based on obviously your product. So as a marketing budget, what we basically need to see is some sort of planning as to what your finances, what your spending is going to be. So first and foremost, you need to make sure you've got those items that are going to be involved in the marketing. So for example, it could be posters, flyers, this sort of idea, any sort of logos you may have did, anything that you've used to the whole idea of marketing and communicating your what your product's all about. Popping in an estimated cost, and where you know it, putting in the actual cost. Obviously some of these things by the time we get going might not have actually been spent, but it gives us some sort of estimated cost from what we see. At the bottom here we'll also have our totals. So we've got an idea of our estimated totals, and then no doubt there's going to be some sort of what the actual reality is, and with that, with some sort of sense of variance. Now, what we just need to see is a sense of planning behind the finances for the marketing part itself. So this will be what the marketing budget would be referred to. What might be a good idea is to give some sort of sense of a timeline within this as well. Bearing in mind, we're only really running this up until the end of term 3. That could be when we're looking at the sort of timeline that we're going up to. Okay, so it's also asking us to come up with some sort of sales and profit forecast. Now, in this, I think you've just got to really illustrate your planning once again to show your forecasting of what you can envisage, some sort of realistic. What I would suggest as well is maybe come out with different scenarios. So, for example, here we're selling at $15. You've got sales, you've got revenue, which is generated from these sales, the cost per item, which is also calculated by total cost, and therefore we're seeing revenue and total cost coming up with some sort of profit level. Now, obviously, this is a very, very basic one, but what it should be able to do is give you some sort of sense of this is what we can check back on. It's a way, remember, it's a way of monitoring, and there's plenty of different ways that you can set this out. Another one, probably maybe a bit better to do, would be by going it by week to week, depending on whether or not you've actually got sales up and running. So with this, we can see that the revenue generated from the sales, likewise the costs involved. And please, guys, this is very much a in fact, it hasn't calculated correctly. However, but what we can sort of see, it gives us the idea of obviously of our costs and our differences in our profit and loss. So it's probably a wiser idea to use a time frame. Break even would also be a very good way of showing this information. So moving on from that, what it is also asking of us is to produce some form of plan of action, an actual stage-by-stage plan of action for our marketing plan. Now, a very good way of setting this one out would be using some sort of a Gantt chart. It gives us an indication from what's been going on in the past, in the present, and the future. So bearing in mind, we are more or less, well, we're up to week 8 and where we are in terms of the term. I think where we are in terms of actually starting this, we're possibly around about. Well, I guess if we take E-Day as the launch point, you can sort of draw it from there. So business ideas, communication with our mentors, start doing our market research, and as you can see, a lot of these tasks will be overlapping. It gives us a sense of, obviously, once we've got this done, we can therefore move on to some of these areas down here. So and as an example, this is giving you examples of certain things that need to be incorporated into our marketing plan. But laying it out like this is a very good visual way of seeing our step-by-step guide. One thing it does ask you to do is set up some sort of way to monitor and check um, how we're going in terms of the tasks. There's no real distinct way to set this one out. One could be to put up some sort of task for a certain person's responsibility to be done by a certain time, and then comments on possibly how it went or how we take it forward, etc., etc. It's really, I mean, the nature of this internal and the whole thing that we're doing for the marketing, the business activity, is it is very, very fluid. Things are happening all the time. But it's just a way in which we can sort of keep track of these things, monitor these things, and sort of take them forward, which is in essence what needs to be seen in the business plan, and obviously as a requirement of the marketing plan as well. Um, so what we can also think about in the last bit is coming up with contingency plans and risks. Now, risks can come from all sorts of places, but collectively just think what are in terms of the marketing that we are doing, what are the sort of problems that we can come across? What are the sort of things that we can come across that we can say, this is going to be our alternative plan should this happen. If this happens, then we will do this. If that happens, then we will do this. Some sort of something up your sleeve to suggest that you have been thinking about these things, and this is the way in which you're going to manage them should they occur. So, as an example, this sort of document, you could pop down examples of risks, where it could occur, how it could occur, who would be involved, and the key bit: how would you minimise the risk? Okay, i.e., how can you manage it? So, looking at some of those things, okay, thinking about the perceived risks, how would you manage, minimise the risks, and data and documenting a lot of this stuff. Overall, all of these documents, so our risk and contingency to go back, a plan of action, um, Gantt chart, sales and profit forecast, sales and profit, and marketing budget. All of these things are up on Moodle for you to use the template should you desire. Use it, change it, adapt it. Please feel free to, but it's yours to do whichever you wish.